Right. Ooh, give me a second. Give me a second, y'all. Shit. There we go. And let me drop the link for the peoples. And there we go. Let me lower this. Lower this. Okay, wait a minute. I think you guys can hear me. I think y'all can hear me pretty good. Greetings. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh, shit. Okay. Let me get this together. All right. All right. All right. All right. Greetings, everybody. Let me pull my act together. Let me get my media assets ready. Do I have everything together? I got everything together. And we are good. Y'all welcome. I hope everyone had a good Friday night. Give me a second. I got to take a drink. I don't want you seeing me. Give me a second. Y'all, I have this thing. I got this thing. I see people when I watch them, I see them eat or drink. It just drives me crazy. But I digress. I'm here. I'm over here for a minute. I want to make sure I wet my whistle. All right, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Please share the live out, like the live, do all that madness. We're going to talk about some things. We're going to talk about we're talking about Gemini season. We're talking about a Uranus Cazimi. We're talking about a emotional, spiritual awakening that nobody is ready for. We've not had this conjunction in over 84 years. So ain't nothing to do but to get right into it, okay? So Gemini season is here. Gemini season is here, but this isn't just any other transit. The sun is meeting, wait, where are my assets? Here we go. There we go. Okay. So the sun is meeting here. The sun is meeting here. The sun is meeting in the Uranus and Gemini for the first time in 84 years. And it's activating a very rare mental and spiritual reset point that is going to be able to, it's going to shift our perceptions on a lot of things. So it's going to shift our perceptions and our thoughts and life and direction, all at once. Those things are going to be, under scrutiny. And tonight, I want to break down why our minds feel louder right now, or why or how the Uranus Cazimi affects this sudden awakening that we're going to have. How we've been living under autopilot, and why old cycles are becoming impossible for us to ignore. So, and then of course I'm going to bring in the tarot. I'm going to bring in the tarot behind all of this. Okay. So Gemini, like I said, Gemini season is officially here. And we are all under a very rare alignment because the sun meeting Uranus and Gemini for the first time in 84 years. For the first time in 84 years. And honestly, a lot of people are about to realize the biggest thing exhausting them is their own mind. It's not life. It's not just people. It's not stress. It's the constant conversation that is happening internally. So, at this point, I'm going to ask you all, right now, does your mind feel louder than your actual life? Do you do you have to question yourselves? Like, did I really have a bad day? Or was it just like it was a 12-minute interaction with either your boss, a coworker, and we bring that into the rest of the days. This is what this alignment is bringing to us. It's bringing this stuff to us up in our face and stuff. So there we go. Greetings, Miss Yvette. Hey, darling, how you doing? Y'all, please don't forget to like the video and share the live out, okay? So with the sun meeting Uranus in Gemini for the first time since 1994, that was 84 years ago, and we were in World War II. All right. So that gap between this conjunction and the last one, that's pretty monumental. So when the sun catches Uranus in Gemini, what gets illuminated is exactly what Uranus is going to spend the next 7 years rewiring. And right now, the sun's spotlight and Uranus is disruption. And when they meet like this, something in your thinking doesn't just shift, it's going to tilt. And that tilt is the key word. Remember that. Pay attention to what you hear yourself saying. Pay attention to the ideas that are dropping in your mind without invitation. Pay attention to who reaches out to you unexpectedly, because those are the threads that Uranus is going to keep pulling on for the next 7 years. And this shit right here is not random. This is directional. All right. So you got to remember that Gemini rules communication. And people forget that communication is not just what comes out of our mouths. It's also our self-talk. It's our mental and emotional loops. It's our assumptions. It's our overthinking. It's us replaying old conversations or imaginary arguments. You know, it's those anxiety-filled scenarios that we like to replay in our head. And during this Gemini season, our thoughts are going to get very, very loud. So let me ask you something. Be real right now. What has your mind been looping on lately? Has it been a conversation? Has it been some family dynamics? Has it been either work or relationship? What has your mind been focused on? You ain't got to put it in the chat, but just ask yourself that question. So you already may be noticing certain conversations, certain routines, people or situations. They just don't hit the same anymore. They just don't hit the same anymore. And that's because Uranus energy doesn't gently adjust you. Uranus energy, it disrupts, it awakens, and it breaks that autopilot. You know, people are suddenly getting tired of fake situations. People are realizing that something is no longer working for them. People are wanting freedom. People are wanting to change. So that discomfort that you've been feeling lately, that's not random. A lot of people are done pretending that they're okay with things that they secretly outgrew a long time ago. People are done playing the games. So this is where that mental shift starts to become irreversible. So Gemini rules the mind. Gemini rules communication. Gemini rules thoughts. Gemini rules conversations and perspectives. Let me look at the chat over here. Miss Yvette says, I've been very reflective on my personal being. Yes. Yeah. And Yvette, and the reason why that journaling has been helping is because when you how do I want to say this? When you take it out of your head and you write it down, it then becomes real. It's something that becomes manageable. Honey, I love it. I love journaling. Um, I keep one in my knapsack, y'all. I don't even care. Oh my God. Every time I leave my house, I look like I'm about to run away from home because I carry I got books, I've got my journal, I've got pens. Oh, I've been hold on, let me talk to y'all. Let me get rid of my give me a second, y'all. Let me get rid of my yeah. I've been making like my own little personal oracle cards. So I've got these. So yeah, so Miss Yvette, you on the right path. If you're journaling, you write in that Gemini energy, baby. So yeah. So this energy is gonna show up. This energy is gonna show up in random realizations, unexpected conversations. You're gonna see people differently. Y'all are gonna get tired of old patterns. Yeah. You're finally gonna say what's been sitting on your chest. And for a lot of you, I'm like, I'm happy for that's happening. For a lot of you all. You know, a lot of y'all been keeping. I'm gonna say this to you. And a lot of times when people come to me for readings, you know what? 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna say this: a lot of the shit that they're going through could have been minimized if they just said what was on their mind to begin with. So, so yeah. A lot of y'all are going to be saying what's been sitting on your chest, and some people are about to realize that a lot of people are going to realize that my life isn't the only thing that needs to change. My mindset needs to change as well. Yeah. So a lot of you guys with this Gemini stuff, a lot of the thank you, Miss Yvette. Look, Miss Yvette's keeping this live going. Thank you, baby. A lot of you guys are going to be yeah, you're going to be moving forward. And it's, you know what? And with Uranus energy, it's not an adjustment, because all of the times that you've been keeping things to yourself, it's going to like slingshot you into that point of truth that you should have been at. Let me show you guys what this is going to feel like. All right. So right off the bat, this is going to be like tower energy, because like I said, this energy is not soft. This energy is not soft. And the tower is sudden truth and like emotional disruption. All right. You finally gonna say what's on your mind. Somebody's gonna get their feelings hurt, and they gonna be okay, and you gonna be okay. All right. Because I look at it this way. Let me take this down so I can look at you all. I'm gonna say this. Anytime you find yourself in a position where you are offended, allow that to be a moment of clarity, because anything that can trigger you can control you. And if anybody said anything to you that's going to trigger you, they just did you a favor by pointing out to you a weak spot. So you bless them for that lesson, you toughen that weak spot up, and you move again, because they got you that one time. But if you played this right, they're not going to be able to get you like that again. All right. So yeah. So we're definitely going to have a lot of tower energy during this transit. But not only that, but see, so like I said, the energy is not soft, but we're going to bring the Fool up in here. Okay, because this is a new beginning. This is where you guys finally start choosing yourself instead of making it comfortable for everybody else. You all are going to start choosing for yourself. And then, last but not least, the sun. The sun. The sun. The sun is awareness. The sun is illumination. All right. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. You know what? I'm looking at my assets. I got some other stuff I could bring into. We can also bring the judgment into this as well. This is your wake up call. Your life has been calling you. And so now you're hearing it. And wait, and here's another one, the Ace of Swords. Y'all are cutting through the bullshit. You all are finally getting this mental clarity, and the truth is going to be breaking through all of this confusion. The truth is going to be going through, it's going to break through all of this confusion. Here's the reason why this shit is going to feel very disruptive. And that is because a lot of us, first off, let me just say this much. Everybody right now is living under a pressure cooker. And so that is why a lot of us right now, we go on autopilot. We go on autopilot because the brain is built to conserve energy. So what becomes familiar starts feeling safe, even when it's unhealthy. Even when it's unhealthy, it still feels safe. So people repeat cycles. People repeat cycles, not always because they enjoy them, but because these cycles become predictable. And predictable feels safer than uncertainty. Sometimes, people stay in patterns because they learn those patterns early on in life. Survival mode for a lot of us becomes the norm. And a lot of us, we got conditioned to chaos. And a lot of us fear change more than we fear discomfort. So, and honestly, a lot of us feel that we don't deserve any better. So exhaustion, lowered self-awareness, those, we tend to confuse those with familiarity and identity. So the thing is that what you repeat long enough starts to feel like who you are, even if you're not. Even if you're not. And that means that toxic relationships start to feel normal. Self-doubt becomes automatic. Avoidance feels like protection. Overthinking becomes our default. And emotional burnout, that becomes our lifestyle. And that's why people can know something isn't right for them and still struggle to leave it. Because, wait a minute, here's a good one, y'all. Awareness is not transformation. Awareness is not transformation. Awareness is just the doorway. And sometimes the real realization is you've been surviving inside a version of yourself that you already outgrew. One of the hardest realizations that people have difficulty crossing the bridge over is that they were the biggest obstacle in their way. You were your problem. You were standing in your own way. And that's the biggest obstacle. A lot of people find that very, very hard to contend with. All right. So we know that the mind shapes the reality. And this transit is shifting our thoughts before it's going to shift our life. So the sun, where is it at? Oh, here we go. The sun is going to bring us awareness. And Uranus is going to bring the awakening. And this alignment is going to amplify into a direct realization. So, yeah. I'm going to say this because this is important. Repeated cycles come from repeated consciousness. Let me say that again. Repeated cycles come from repeated consciousness. So when the belief shifts, the reality will follow. Yeah. So during this Gemini season, start paying attention to the realizations. Start paying attention to your discomfort. Start paying attention to what no longer fits. But don't move recklessly. Just because things feel intense, move smart, but don't move impulsively. So you got to ask yourselves right now, what's one thing you know that you've outgrown, but you keep holding on to? Because with this transit right here, this is powerful energy. This is powerful energy for changing routines. This is powerful energy for creative breakthroughs. This is going to be powerful energy for honest conversations, for learning something new, or rebranding yourself, or changing your mindset. This transit right here is very good for breaking bad habits, or simply for becoming more authentic with yourself. This is right now is the perfect transit for all of this. So hold on, I'm almost done. Let me do this. I don't know if I got, did I, here's the link. All right, let me drop the link. If anybody wants to come up. Yeah, that's all I really wanted to say about this Gemini season. We got a lot going on. So I'm going to close out. And here, you guys, I'm going to get this. Here's the affirmation I'm going to give you. Here we go, y'all. We're going to affirm. I allow myself to outgrow old thinking patterns. Oh, wait, here we go. Hold on. I'm going to get you up on there. Give me a second, Miss Chevette.
Okay.
Give me a second, Miss Chevette, because I got more to that. So I allow myself to outgrow old thinking patterns. I trust the changes happening within me. I allow myself to outgrow old thinking patterns, and I trust the changes happening within me. So before I get on with Miss Yvette, let me just say this. Ask yourself this thing right here. What part of your life feels mentally exhausting right now? What truths have you been avoiding? And what old version of yourself are you finally ready to outgrow? Because right now with this Gemini season, those are the things that we're going to be focusing on for the next 7 months. So the sooner you get used to those ideas, and it's uncomfortable. I'm not saying that any of this shit is easy, but it's necessary for your next stage. So I'm going to land right there. Miss Yvette, girl, you look good. You must have come back from shaking a tail feather.
I had some grape juice.
Okay. Okay. Fermented grape juice,
Yes,
no doubt.
fermented grape juice.
Well, honey, it's done wonders for your skin, let me tell
Thank
you.
you.
What you
Thank
got to
you.
say, God? What you got to say?
Nothing. What's funny is that this is totally resonating. I'm like resentment, resonating with me, especially just I don't know. I the other day I was just like driving to work and I'm thinking, I'm like, what do I need? I feel like I'm always trying to go on some sort of health journey, but I just like halfway drop it and stop. I stopped doing it. I'm like, I need to do it for myself, right? I'm getting older and I just want to try to get a routine that I can stick with. So I've been journaling and manifesting things just to try to keep with it. Like, if I want to try to believe more in myself, right? If I'm a teacher, right? You know this. I encourage students, and they're always telling me like, "Oh, thank you, Mrs. Sparza. You've helped me." And actually today, I had some eighth graders that are graduating, and I worked with them when they're in kindergarten, and they just look up to me, and I'm like, "What? If I can do this for others, why can't I do it for myself?" You
That's the
know?
question, though, baby. That's the question. And it's easier to pour into other people than it is to ourselves. And girl, and a lot of that stuff is because somewhere along the line, we never got those kudos. We never
Right.
got the sparzas that we needed. And if we did, because I'm gonna tell you this right now. I'm gonna say this right now, uh, uh, Yvette. You know, um, I got a library full of books with some of the masters. Michael Bernard Bennett, Lisa Nichols, with Iyanla Van Zant. Anybody that I could read that I resonate with. Shakati Gwain. I'm reading. And then, and baby, I'm the queen of taking a note. I will take a
Mm,
note in a minute. And then of course I go to Agape Church, and anything that I get, I'm gonna give back to you terabytes, or to whoever's gonna sit down and listen.
mm-hmm.
And I've got that energy. Like, I was like, girl, you can do it. Go ahead and do it and stuff. Baby, by the time it comes time, when it comes time to taking care of Ronnie, baby, I'm at zero. I'm on E. I'm on E. And it goes back to what you said. You can do this. I mean, think about it, Yvette. From kindergarten to eighth grade, that's a generation.
Mm-hmm.
You had a generation of pouring into, and yet you can't do it for yourself.
Right.
And realization, that's one step. But now what are we going to do about it?
Right.
What do we got to do about it? And it's like we got to go inside, and we got to reparent ourselves. We got to reparent ourselves, and take that little Ronnie, and take that little Yvette, and tell them, like, you made it. In spite of everything, you made it. And thank you. And now I'm going to take care of you. No one ever teaches us how to do that.
Right.
It's like, you had a fucked up childhood. You had some trauma. You made it through. Congratulations. No, just making it through it's not the wait a minute. You made it through, but did you make it through complete?
Right.
What pieces of you are left behind? Because those are always the pieces that we're trying to fill in, you know. Mrs. Stevens, what part of this resonated with you, baby?
Oh, a lot. I'm so glad you said something about it. So I woke up on May 21st because that was the beginning of Gemini season, and I just felt funny. I just felt really funny. And it's kind of funny that you did say that we're dealing with parts of ourselves that we have outgrown or whatever. And I've been thinking about, because I like to write. I was thinking about writing an essay about what does your Saturday routine entail or something. And I've just been saying to myself, I'm blessed that I do have a job and everything. I have to work on Saturdays, but I just want to kind of spend my Saturdays differently, possibly teaching yoga to people
Mhm.
that may need it. And I'm trying to figure out what's stopping me from, doing that. But I think there's a part of me that's afraid to put myself out there. um I think I can, that dream can come true, but it's just that you have to be creative and make it happen. So I really felt what you were saying, with there's some energies that are knocking at our door. And also plus people at my job have been acting funny. So so it boils down to what you were basically saying at the beginning.
And Mr. Stevens, I'm gonna say this to you. I'm gonna say this to you. There's gonna come a point in your life where you gotta ask yourself this question, or you're gonna realize something. If you are not building your dream, you're building somebody else's.
Oh, yes.
I live in reality too. I live in reality too. And wait a minute. Let me say this to you, Mr. Stevens. I'm working 2 jobs right now, and I've never made more money in my life than I am at this point right now. And I'm still behind the 8 ball. I'm still behind the 8 ball. I'm blessed. I'm blessed to have that job, but I'm blessed to have another job that I actually like. I'm blessed to have a job that I like, that I actually am good at and stuff. And so, I write on my journal that I'm attracting the best clients, all of those, all of those things, because I do feel that in spite of what is around us, I do believe that there's a reality that we can. I'm going to say this right now, that everybody is aware of the gas prices. Everybody is aware of the supermarket prices. Here's the thing. There is a contingency of people where that's not affecting. And my question is that why can it not be you? Why can you not, be a part of that? And I believe that it's what we choose to believe in. If we choose to believe in that struggle, then that's what's going to come out in our life, our world, in our affairs. And so with you sitting there like, you're grateful to have a job, but you want something more. You've heard me say this before. Someday is not on the calendar. Someday is
Mhm.
not on that calendar. So here's the question. And it's not, you don't have to answer. This is not to put you on the spot. When are you going to get tired of wondering what life could be like if you did X, Y, and Z? Because when that answer gets greater than you just wondering, that's when you're going to do something. And here's the thing, Mr. Stevens. Here's the thing. The only thing that can happen to you is that someone says no, and no never killed nobody.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's
You know,
true.
because to me, no is the negotiation. No, I'm sorry. Okay, why? You know what I'm saying? Because okay, at that point, I ain't got shit to lose, but you can explain it to me.
Yeah,
I may learn something through your explanation as to why not. So there we go. So
yeah,
like I said, if you ain't building your dream, you building someone else's.
that's true.
You
That's
building
true.
someone else's. So yeah. Um, I listen. I've been having a good time. Where it is, there it is. I've been having a good time writing my own little oracle cards. I'm still going to be using the other ones, but these cards right here, they're speaking to me. And so that's like one of those little things that I was doing to help align myself with what I want. And who knows, this may be the prototype. This just may be the prototype. And the next thing I know, I may have a deck of my own that's mass marketed. We never know. But you just got to make that one little step. You just got to make that one little step. And you never can tell, Mr. Stevens, applying to teach yoga on Saturdays, that may open something up all completely different. And you may leave the job that you don't like, you know?
Well,
And Miss Yvette, you journaling, you getting that shit out of your head onto paper may be the roadmap that you need to find your way to where you're supposed to be. All I'm saying to you both is that one step is all you need.
Very
If
true.
if that one step is all you could do, you one step closer than what you were before.
Hmm.
You know.
Okay.
So that is that. Y'all. Today was a very busy day for me. Today was a very, very busy day for me, and I am tired, but I'm going to take that one step. I am going to go on TikTok, and hopefully I can. I don't know what kind of energy I'm going to bring because, like I said, I'm tired, but I do like this. I do like talking to the little terabytes. I do like flipping these cards and seeing what's going on. And I don't know if it could become a living. I don't know that, but I'm gonna try, and
Okay.
that's my little journey, you know.
Okay.
So, with all that being said, y'all, thank you for joining me.
Have a good night.
All right.
Thank you
Yeah,
so
good
much.
night. Good night.
That skin is skinning, Mama.
Thank
That's
you.
skinning,
All
okay.
right. Bye-bye. Bye.
She got the birds coming down from the
I
heavens.
know.
going,
Look, she says hi.
hey, I gotta come over one day and play with her.
Yes, she likes your
All right.
voice.
Oh, nice. All right, sweetheart. You all have a great evening. Thank you for
You
joining
too.
me. Stay
Good
blessed.
night. Bye.
Good night. Good night.